Maybe you saw this in the news last week, that RFK Jr. was claiming that he had a brain parasite. Well, I'm actually going to watch and see what I think.
It is a story you cannot make up. The New York Times is reporting that independent presidential candidate RFK Jr. said in a deposition in 2012 that a doctor told him a worm got into his brain, ate a portion of it, and then died. CNN's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, joins me now. Dr. Gupta, Sanjay, great to see you as always. We thought you'd be perfect for this. You are a neurosurgeon. And the question I had instantly when I saw this is, well, besides the question, do I have one? But how common might this be? Does this happen?
Yeah, this does happen. I mean, obviously, we're just hearing about it from RFK himself. But I can tell you, as a neurosurgeon, that this is a rare condition. But it's typically something that is caused by eating undercooked pork. And again, we don't know this for sure, but just based on the description that we're hearing, sounds very much like this, where you eat undercooked pork and the larvae get into your bloodstream and then basically can spread throughout the body and the bloodstream. They can go to all sorts of different organs, including the brain.
Notice he said that it can go to all sorts of different organs within the body.
When you do an MRI scan, you might see these areas, and you can see them in purple there, Jim, where they basically look like little cysts, essentially, in the brain. And that is...
And so when something foreign gets into the body oftentimes encompasses like a fat, soluble blob around it, which actually is what causes or creates that cyst-like shape.
The porkworm larvae that gets in there. Sometimes it just is sort of sitting there, doesn't cause any kind of problems. Sometimes it can cause other symptoms like headaches or even seizures.
So headaches and seizures can be symptoms of parasites in the brain.
And again, we don't know specifically what happened with him or if this is actually it, but this does happen a few thousand times a year. Basically go in and, similar to a tumor in a way, you would go in and basically just remove that cyst. Now, that is not typically necessary or often necessary. Sometimes it doesn't require any treatment at all. Sometimes it requires medications, anti-parasitic medications.
So traditional medicine uses a lot of anti-parasitic medicines, whereas in functional medicine or naturopathic medicine, what we use is herbals that work much the same way.
That because of the location of these types of cysts, not usually associated with memory loss, because I think that's what took RFK to the doctors in the first place, memory loss and generalized brain fogginess. Typically, it's more associated with, if any, symptoms, headaches and seizures and things like that.
One thing we have to remember, they're saying that maybe it doesn't cause that particular parasite in the brain, does not cause brain fogginess. But parasites reproduce, and so more than likely there were additional parasites within the body. Those actually give off a toxic substance that actually can interfere neurologically and cause that brain fog. So the bottom line is, I don't think that RFK Jr. is crazy. It's a real thing. And in my practice alone, I treat people with parasites all over their bodies. So what's to say there's not one in the brain?